rooftops could be power plants.
One of these machines is going to power about 300 households.
It's one of the few dams that actually produces electricity all year round. Welcome to Save My Planet. I'm Stephen Brooks. Whether it's sun, water, or wind, using renewable energy sources is one of the best ways to put a curb on greenhouse gas emissions and slow down global warming. Here in Costa Rica, they take the idea of clean energy very seriously. In fact, Costa Rica gets more than 80% of all of its energy from renewable sources. We'll see that a little later. But first, let's take a look at what some folks are doing a little closer to home, right in America's heartland, where cornfields are being used to harvest another kind of crop.
We have used windmills to pull water out of the soil. Holland has had windmills to grind grain. We have procrastinated, so to speak, and not really developing this resource until we got to $140 oil prices.
This project that we're at here is called Meadow Lake Wind Farm, which is the first phase of a multi-phase wind project in northwest Indiana. If you can see the turbine up there, those blades, they're basically pitched in the direction of the wind.
By the rotation of the blades and the aerodynamic engineering that we have put into these blades are capturing that wind resource and turning a generator, and it's producing electricity.
And it doesn't matter that the blades turn slowly. Even if they spin just a little bit, the turbine's generator is triggered and boom! We have electricity.
And all of the electricity goes underground from turbine to turbine to turbine. And on this particular wind farm, we have what we call 3 collector stations or mini substations. And at that point,
it's stepped up to this switch yard, this substation that you see here, and then the energy is basically pumped into the grid.
The electricity produced here is going to Richmond, Virginia, to Appalachia, and it's going to Philadelphia, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C.
Sounds like that power sure gets around. But how did a wind farm end up in Indiana?
We knew we had wind, more wind than most people are blessed to have. And anemometers had gone up. You could see that there were wind measurements being made.
Benton County had the best wind speed of any county in Indiana. We were standing on the high grass prairies, which means we are a flat piece of property to hold 400 and some odd square miles of this county.
Generally, you're talking about minimum 60, 70 acres of open land per one turbine. And these are spaced and engineered in a very specific way.
We have to make these things environmentally sound, and we have to make them extremely acceptable to human beings. As much as possible, we've tried to eliminate the possibility of bird and bat kills. We have tried as much as possible through the design to eliminate noise. And adding the 3rd blade has reduced their irritation to your eyeballs.
These are very expensive units, but all of the costs come right up front, right when construction begins. So you're talking about average of, like, for this turbine, you can say rough ballpark about $2 million a piece.
$2 million? That's a lot of green. How does a wind farm make a profit?
Power projects are long-term investments. The advantage here is we put all of our costs up front, let the blades spin. There's no other input costs. It's basically just maintenance, keeping the turbines up and running. And right now, you know, they're generating revenue.
One of these machines is going to power about 300 households. Whatever we can produce with wind means that we burn less coal and we consume less natural gas.
What we have here, even though it's immense in its physical proportions, it seems very innocuous because all it's doing is taking advantage of the God-given wind that comes across our plains.
Making use of resources that are already there, that's pretty smart. When we come back, we'll hear how some wind farm skeptics were finally won over and what it meant to their community. Welcome back. We've been visiting farmers in Indiana whose cash crop is a little unusual. They're making electricity from wind power. So how are these folks dealing with the transition to green energy? Let's go find out.
It looks easy. To those who are away from farming and away from agriculture, it looks pretty easy to do what we do. and it is not.
We're working with 150, 200 farmers in this area to site a wind power project. We'll be literally sitting at somebody's kitchen table, kind of going through what goes into a wind farm.
The older generation is more, we want to keep our landscape the way it was. I don't like change. Whereas the younger generation, where my kids are in, they are all for it. They think it's great, we're saving the planet.
The thing that farmers worried about is we have a tendency to think of our land as our baby. So we had a lot of questions on how disruptive will it be.
A big part of it is working with farmers in terms of what are they doing on their land. So a big interest for them is where are these access roads going to be so I can keep my fields open.
They have to think about tile drainage and various other things like that. And when they're under construction, there's a great deal that you have to deal with.
They dig a big hole in the ground, obviously. There are 350 yards of concrete in the standard size towers. And with these bigger towers, these clippers, there are 450 yards of concrete in the soil beneath them to support the base on which they sit.
The landowner is compensated for all the crop damage that is occurring, so they suffer no financial consequences at all. They're going to be collecting between $5,000 and $22,000 per acre per year.
We take less than an acre out of production for the access roads and the turbines.
But when it's refurbished, it probably takes up only about 20% of that acre. So the farmer is actually going to be able in time to farm land that basically is getting paid for through the lease.
If you have the luck of having a good year of wind and generate more than X number of megawatts, then you're paid accordingly.
And everyone in Benton County is gearing up for a bumper crop.
By the spring of next year, we will be producing about a gigawatt of electricity. Now, your home requires kilowatts, and these machines are producing megawatts. But their total capacity, when we put them all together, is going to be a gigawatt. So we continue to add zeros, zeros, and zeros to the end of that equation.
And that should earn the county about $55 million over the next 20 years. Wind power can generate a lot of cash and a lot of jobs, too.
We have struggled forever for job creation. There's a lot of layoffs in the county for people who work in Lafayette.
I mean, there's so much potential for a green collar economy, especially from a sector such as wind energy.
The things that I've been most proud about is the fact that I'm helping over 400 landowners get some financial rewards for their contribution to a greener environment.
This right here is taking 100,000 cars off of the road, right? It's providing new jobs that have been lost through the manufacturing base.
You hate to use the phrase no-brainer, but that's what it is. It's a win-win.
It's a great feeling knowing that we're helping future generations. You know, I want my kids to be able to have an earth to be able to live on.
Hats off to the folks from Benton County, Indiana. It seems like those farmers are feeling the winds of change in a really great way. When we come back, we're going to go to the rooftops of Chicago to see how wind energy can work in the city, too. Have you ever thought how being green could help us make green? The United States already has a thriving green economy. The renewable energy industry has been adding jobs at more than twice the national rate. These green collar jobs include everything from installing solar panels to building wind turbines. And they're a smart way to keep the economy humming while taking care of the planet. Welcome back to Save My Planet. Renewable energy sources are all around us, like right here on the Arenal Dam in Costa Rica. But you don't have to live on a roaring river to harness the power of nature. Some people are doing it right in the city, on their rooftops.
Wind energy is an energy source that one estimate out of Stanford, researchers could produce 72 terawatts. That's a billion watts of energy, and we're not using it.
This building happens to be a 100% electrical building. We don't use natural gas or fuel oil, any other types of energy. So it uses a tremendous amount of electricity. Part of my responsibility here is to reduce the energy use in the building.
Larry Smith and his staff worked here for years to get the energy efficiency up, and then they've added 100 kilowatts of solar energy panels here.
From there, we went to solar hot water, and the next step was to try wind turbine. Everybody's familiar with windmills out in the open, but in big cities, metropolitan areas, nobody was aware of anything they could do to capture the wind.
In Buckminster Fuller,
That's our Buckminster Fuller, an inventor and designer, and an early advocate of renewable energy.
Buckminster Fuller said that wind energy would be a major part of the 21st century, and even wind electricity mounted on buildings. People have tried for years, myself included, to put propellers on buildings, and they've proven to be inadequate in a variety of ways. When the wind varies and they start looking, every time they turn, their efficiency goes down. They can turn and get hit by gusts of wind, spin around, and crash. This is a vertical axis machine. It takes winds from all directions, so it never has to turn. We have blades that'll help spin it up to a higher RPM for more electricity. And then it's got this helix in the middle that'll start it up in very low winds.
Okay, but we already have solar power. Why do we need wind?
This roof has almost a 50-50 balance between very good solar days in the late spring, summer, and early fall, and then lowered solar value in the winter. But in the winter, you have very high winds. So we look to this interesting balance to end up leveling out the renewable energy delivery to the roof of the building.
As soon as we're making it, we're using it. We're hoping to get 2,000 kilowatts a year each turbine, but we're kind of breaking new ground here, so maybe we'll get lucky and make more than that. That's our goal.
What about our feathered friends? Aren't these things dangerous to the birds flying around?
Propellers, when they spin at 500 RPM, they become transparent, and birds don't see that, and they can get hurt. We don't spin fast enough, even at very high winds, to be transparent.
I studied it, and I saw that there was no effect on birds whatsoever.
We've had some birds go up and sit on the top.
But these things have got to be pretty expensive, right?
Yeah, people ask us, if your wind turbines are twice as expensive as solar, well, why even try to sell them? Well, I guess you could say, why did Bell Labs even announce the use of solar? We've been downsizing manufacturing since the 80s, and here's a tremendous opportunity to reindustrialize around clean energy devices of all kinds.
A lot of federal government agencies can be kind of timid to try something new, and I'm not timid.
This roof is slowly but surely becoming a miniature model for the future where rooftops could be power plants.
I can tell you that I'm aware of at least 3 buildings that are waiting for me to give results of what I've done here. I've had a gentleman walking by on the street just stop in, and he's thinking of putting them in a building about a block from here.
We're trying to be as competitive per maintenance per installed watt as solar.
Just put them up there and hook them up, and they take care of themselves.
Sounds simple, huh? Well, actually it is. The wind is right here. All we have to do is capture it. But wind isn't the only form of alternative energy. Some lakes and rivers can be used to power entire countries. That's what's happening here, Lake Arenal, Costa Rica. But we'll see that next. Welcome back to Save My Planet. The Earth creates an incredible amount of energy every day. Take the Arenal volcano here in Costa Rica, which stands over 5,000 feet tall and is one of the region's biggest and most powerful attractions. But it's not the only place where nature flexes its muscle. This facility harnesses the power of Lake Arenal and provides Costa Rica with 30% of its electricity. So I'm here with Jose Araya. He's a civil engineer here at the Arenal Dam, and tell me, what is this place?
Bueno, esta es una de las presas más importantes de nuestro país. Da principio a ser el complejo hidroeléctrico arenal que nos permite producir uno de los mayores porcentajes de energía de nuestro país.
What percent of the total electricity of Costa Rica is produced by this dam?
Usualmente el 30%.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. So 30% of all of Costa Rica's electricity needs comes from the Arenal Dam. So tell me, how did they do this? Moving communities and deciding to put this right here, how did you decide those things?
se determinan las comunidades, los pueblos que se van a inundar. Y se empieza todo un proceso de saber quiénes son, qué hacen, con un equipo multidisciplinario, y con ellos se escoge dónde quieren vivir.
So it's so much more than just physically building a dam. It's actually fully involving these communities and where these people wanted to move to. You know, there was a whole group of people that came in and actually rescued the animals and brought them to safe areas before they actually filled the lake. Very, very complicated. Not only, you know, it's a great physical task, but also a really huge social impact. Do you feel like this is something that other countries that are also making dams like this can learn from?
Otros países pueden aprovecharse, necesita un estudio completo, no es solamente decir pongo la presa y ya está. Se hacen estudios de hidrología, se hacen estudios del impacto socioambiental que se va a tener para tratar de minimizarlo y mitigarlo.
On top of that, you also have this beautiful lake. There's fishing, there's windsurfing, you know, there's just people that cruise around on the boats. I mean, imagine there was no lake and then boom, there's a huge lake. It's pretty amazing. Jose, this is really, the lake's beautiful and all these facts are interesting, but all this talk about electricity, I don't see any of it being made. Where's it at?
Sí, a diferencia de otros proyectos, la casa de máquinas está al otro lado del lago.
So he's saying, like, unlike most projects, that the electricity is made at the other side of the lake in the Casa de Máquinas, the house of machines. Can we see it?
Yes.
Come on. I'm here with Edgar Villalobos, and he is the general manager of the Arnal hydroelectric plant, ¿verdad? Where is the lake from here?
Está a 210 metros de altura desde aquí y a través de un túnel de 10 kilómetros.
Wow.
Y esta tubería que tenemos aquí a nuestras espaldas, a través de esa conducción es que se trae el agua desde el embalse Arenal hasta la casa máquinas.
Wow, very interesting. Imagine the building and the design and the creation of this. So they've created this dam in this giant lake, and then they have to move the water from there 10 kilometers in underground tunnels to here, the first of 3 hydroelectric plants. That's a lot to plan. So the water comes in here, and I see the electricity goes out here. But how does water become electricity? Can we go see?
Claro que sí.
Vamos. So now we're inside the hydroelectric plant, and you know, I was wondering, what you hear all this turbine, what is a turbine? And here we have one. They always have a spare here, and this is one of them. Entonces, ¿la agua entra dónde?
La agua viene en esta dirección, horizontalmente, pega en estas paletas y hace girar la turbina.
So the water goes in here and then out down there, and it turns the turbine, but how's the electricity made?
Al mover la turbina al generador, a través de un campo magnético se produce energía eléctrica.
Wow. Can we actually see all this in action?
Por supuesto.
Vamos. We're going to see it. Charged. That was a lot of energy. So this is the tube that we saw inside. This is the water coming in. Wow. So cool. So that water that we saw outside, that big tube, it comes right down into here. It's turning the turbine right there. And vamos a verlo. Y la agua está abajo. La turbina está abajo. Wow. The water's down there. We've seen pretty much the whole process, but how do you distribute the electricity?
Vamos a la sala de control.
Wow. So now we're going to go see how they distribute it all to the control room. Vamos. Whoa. There are a lot of levers. Entonces, ¿qué es esto?
El panel de control.
This is the control panel. So tell me about some of this stuff.
En este momento tenemos 2 unidades trabajando, una produciendo 53 megavatios y otra 49.
Wow.
La tercera está parada.
So where does all this power go?
La energía que producimos aquí es entregada a la red, como se puede observar aquí.
Wow, so all the power that they're making here, it goes into the grid. And as you can see, right now, in this minute, we're making 101 megawatts of power. It goes to show that really every time you flip on that switch or you leave something plugged in, your energy really comes from somewhere. And a lot of work goes into it. So really, really be mindful of all of the electricity used and little steps you can take to help save it. De verdad, Don Edgar. Lo agradezco muchísimo. I really appreciate it. I love the tour.
Con mucho gusto.
It was really awesome. Nature and technology, wow. The Arenal Dam shows that it's possible to provide clean and renewable energy while still preserving and protecting the environment. Now that's saving the planet. I'm Stephen Brooks. See you next time.